Alright, and we're going to start recording now. I'm going to make sure I have no topics to go off of, because why would I have any topics for a podcast called Shower Thoughts that I spelled wrong? Anyway, let's get into this. Hey, how's it going? Welcome to the Shower Thoughts Podcast. Now, you're probably wondering, why? And I'm like, I don't know. I just needed a place for me to go for like an hour and a half and just talk for like an obscene amount of time. So I'm like, I'll probably eventually have guests on, but right now it's just me talking out of my ass because that's like my favorite thing to do. So, let's just get into this. So right now, I'm kind of just moving around at this point. My family's moving. I'm going to be moving out soon. It's a very weird process when you're just hanging out and you have no idea what to do besides clean your fucking room. And then you have like 2 weeks to figure out where to stay, because I gotta get a job really quick, because my last job didn't work out so well. And it wasn't a bad job. The people weren't bad. I love my coworkers, but working at Jack in the Box is like wanting to punch yourself in the face because of all the shitty people you have to deal with. So, that's one issue. But then like the other issue is figuring out where the fuck you're going to put all your stuff. Because I have like a ton of clothes that I never wear. And at this point I'm just going to throw them out. Because like, there's so many fucking clothes, dude. Like, I have no idea what to do with this shit. So, like, that's just a whole fucking thing. And then we gotta talk about my game consoles, which are just fucking, like, I have a Wii, I have a laptop, and I have a fucking Switch that I all have to bring with me in one bag. So, that shit's happening too. And then I gotta bring a few art supplies, because I have been getting really back into drawing recently. So, that's happening. Other than that, it's been a pretty normal fucking week. I stay inside, I do my nightly run, I go exercise, I do my push-ups, I do my sit-ups, and I do my squats. It's a pretty normal day, for the most part. One thing that did strike me today was seeing that Dragon Ball Z Abridged wasn't going to be continuing after this. Like, they notified that today. Like, what day is it? They notified us on February 9th that they weren't going to be doing it anymore. I haven't watched the video yet, and I'm really sad to see what happens. But, it's for me, it's kind of sad, because I really like, I think their version of Dragon Ball Z is probably the one that I liked the most, besides that was fucking stupid what I just said. I really liked their version of Dragon Ball Z. It was really funny, it made sense, and it kind of just did everything that Kai did, but in a comedic way, which I think is fun, because, as a kid, you watch Dragon Ball Z. Like, I watched Dragon Ball Z 3 times over when I was 11 years old. And I watched GT and I watched Dragon Ball the exact same amount of time. So, like, seeing it in a different way is a really, just fucking cool. And I love it a lot. I'm really sad to see what happened, because, Dragon Ball Z Abridged is insanely funny, and I was hoping we would get to the Boo Saga. I'm really happy with where we did get, though. The Cell Saga is really cool. I like the Cell Saga. I'm really sad that we couldn't get to the Boo Saga, because personally the Boo Saga is my favorite one, because that's where I think Toriyama was at his best creatively. I know it was super weird at points, and then you have Dragon Ball just has a ton of plot holes to begin with, but I never really minded, because I don't think anyone was really watching Dragon Ball to, for fucking story. I feel like you watch Dragon Ball to enjoy some pretty awesome looking fights. And, they did something really good with the King of Shonen that I really enjoyed. So, it's kind of sad to see. So, yeah, speaking of Dragon Ball, man, like, just anime in general, I've just been getting really back into anime for some reason. Because, for a while, because I have, like, sequences I go through. So, like, one of my sequences will be, like, I'll go through video games for, like, 5 or 6 months, and then I'll go through anime for another 5 or 6 months, because for me, my brain doesn't like, processing both at the same time, because it gives me too much to think about. So I'll either play one, or I'll play the other, or I'll watch the other. So, like, around this time is where my anime is starting to kick in, and I have been honestly really enjoying the anime I've been watching. I've read a few, like, mangas and, like, webtoons too, but it's mostly been anime. So one of the new ones that really caught my eye was Fire Force, which from just the first couple episodes that I've watched is fucking awesome. I love the main character. I think his name's Shinra, or Shinra, something like that. And then you have Arthur, who's a complete dumbass. I love Shinra so fucking much because he's just this fucking... He looks like if Bakugo was like an emo. Like, that's what he looks like. And I love his nervous smile because it's really funny to see a smile like that on a main character. And I really like his design, mostly because I think it stems away from whatever the fuck a main character is supposed to be. And then there's Arthur, who's, like I said, is a complete fucking dumbass. And it's so great. He just one spoiler, and I love this so much. In one of the episodes that I watched, he was wondering why he was having such a hard time fighting, but then he realized he was right-handed and he was holding the sword with his left, and that's when you realize he's like the biggest dumbass ever, but he's like really charming too. It's really cool. And then I started watching Demon Slayer, and Demon Slayer is just fucking awesome. Like, I love Demon Slayer. Nezuko is fucking adorable, and there's so many funny moments. I can't remember his name, but the guy with a boar head on, who looks like a girl when he takes off his fucking mask, is the best, because I've never seen... he's like a Bakugo. Like, okay, Bakugo's like the new Vegeta now, to be honest with you, because everyone knows who Bakugo is. But Bakugo, he's like a Bakugo who's too funny for his own good. Because I've never seen anyone that I've seen ram their head into a fucking wall that made me laugh as much as that motherfucker did. Those are like the two main ones. Those are the two main animes I'm watching, and then there's fucking then there's Seton Academy, which is the show about a guy. It's literally My Gym Partner's a Monkey in anime form, I swear to God. Except this guy's making a harem. This guy's pretty much getting a harem of fucking animal girls, which is kind of confusing when you realize that the animal girls are just fucking are just girls with fucking like animal like things, like the fucking ears, and then you look at the dudes, and the dudes are literally just walking, talking fucking animals. But it was kind of nostalgic to see it, because it was like My Gym Partner's a Monkey, because everyone jokes about the guy's last name being Lion, and if you watch My Gym Partner's a Monkey, it was Adam Lion, and that's why he was put into the school for animals. Like, it's kind of like a nostalgic trip backwards, and I'm really enjoying it so far. There's only 4 episodes out on Crunchyroll, and I don't even have Crunchyroll Premium, so I can't even watch them in dub, which I'm kind of upset about. But you pick and choose, to be honest. Other than that, there hasn't been really that much going on. I have been watching a lot of Strongman. If you guys don't know what Strongman is, it's literally like big fucking dudes lifting heavy fucking weight. It's kind of like powerlifting, except it's got more movement in it. I'm just gonna I'm not even gonna try to explain it to you. It's like if you look it up, you'll know what I'm talking about. Just look up strongman, or like something like look up Brian Shaw or Eddie Hall, and you'll know what I'm talking about. But I've been really getting back into that too. Like, I think it's because I've been really getting back into like keeping myself in shape. Because like now I'll like go on my nightly run, and I'll like do my old shit of like push-ups, sit-ups, and squats. But I really do miss going to the gym, and I need to get a gym membership because my last gym I went to was free. So, I can't really complain. But I do want to go back and see and get myself back into my old shape. But I do want to keep my size that I'm at right now. Because I'm about 20 pounds lighter than I used to be. So I don't want to gain back like fat or like gain back that much muscle again, because I was really heavy and I felt really out of shape for like what I was back then. Like now I can run easy at this size, and I want to keep being able to run easy at this size, because like the extra 20 pounds was just fucking killing me, man. Like I remember when I first got to basic training, and you would go, and like my first run was fucking awful. I was 20 pounds overweight, and in like the week I had to train for my fucking run, I had to drop like 10 I dropped like 10 pounds just off the sheer fact that I wasn't eating as much. So I dropped like a ton of weight, and we weren't working out that much to begin with, so I was just dropping weight. And then like I was and then I failed my run, so I had to go and I had to retake the run like 4 or 5 times, which was I honestly got addicted to running. So when I stopped running, it was really annoying because at basic you don't get to run every day for the most part, depending on which branch you're in. But I was in Navy, so you don't get to run every day. You'll do other shit, and like eventually you start running again. But like I get like I'm very addicted to like exercise too. So like I was really addicted to deadlifts. I really love deadlifts. I can't do deadlifts that much anymore, but I really like deadlifts. I used to really love squatting, and I still love bench pressing. To this day, I love bench pressing. I think, and I really still do want to hit my 315 or my 315 pound bench press, because I was really close. I was up to 275. That was my heaviest bench press. And at a lighter weight, I think it would look more impressive, because I do want to get my bench press up to about 315 by, I want to say at least 2 years from now, at most 2 years from now, because like I haven't gotten that much weaker. It's just the fact that my muscles are, I don't think it's the fact that I got weaker. I think it's the fact that my muscles just got like out of shape. So if I like started training back up to get them to where they used to be, like I used to have like huge triceps, and like I used to be like pretty big. So I want to get back up to like, I want to at least have my muscles get back to like a more defined size. But I also do want to hit, there's a few strength goals I want to hit. Not really worried about my deadlift. I just want to be able to do like 60, 70 push-ups without stopping. I want to hit a 315 pound bench press, and just a fitness goal, I just want to be able to run 2 miles in about 14 minutes. Like that's the goal right now. I'm really working on that running part, but like getting to the gym is the hard part, because you have to make sure that you can afford it. So I need to get a job. You need to make sure that you can you get there on time. You need to make sure that you're scheduled. It's going to be pretty hard, but I am going to get there. For the most part though, it's just like my exercise regimen has been really weird, and I try to keep it daily, but like it's just really hard to like keep that motivation, but I always do. So like my normal regimen is 4 sets of 30 push-ups, 4 sets of 30 sit-ups, and then 4 sets of 50 squats. And that's usually what I'll do once or twice a day. And then I'll do and then like if I don't feel like doing it that day, I'll go on a run, because I like running now. I don't know, I really do enjoy running now. It's very weird, because like I was a really big kid when I was younger, and you hate running, but like basic got me addicted to it. So I like running now. I'm not good at running, but I like running. But yeah, so that really got me into strongman. And like, if you guys don't know what strongman is, just look it up. But like, eventually I would really like to do a strongman competition, because it just seems really fun. Like I know I definitely won't hit like, mega numbers. Like I won't be getting in first place for sure. But I just want to go and do it so I can see how the competition feels. If it's something I really like doing, I might end up doing it for a while. If not, then it's whatever. I gave it a shot. But it does seem like something I would really like to do. And I've done powerlifting before. I never really competed, but like the powerlifting is it's literally just bench press, squat, deadlift. I've squatted my goals before. My heaviest goal I ever wanted to squat was 365, and I hit it. My deadlift was, I'm not going to say I hit the heaviest numbers. Like if I kept training like my squat all the time, like I've had injuries that kind of keep me from, going super heavy on like certain lifts, and I haven't had surgery to get them fixed yet, nor have I really decided to get surgery to have them fixed. But like my heaviest squat was like 365 pounds, my heaviest bench was 275 pounds, and my heaviest deadlift was just about 405 pounds. But like, training all those kind of gets boring sometimes. I still love doing them, but like, one thing that I really did start training was like the log press, which is push press but with a fucking log, pretty much. It's really big. It's like, I'm not sure how to explain this to you. So it's like a deadlift off the ground, you squat down and you like bump it up to your fucking like chin, and then you push it up like a push press. It's a really fun movement, and it gets like my arms burning a lot. It's also more interesting for me to do instead of going to the gym and doing push press with I'm not push press. Like I don't like push press either, but it's more interesting. Like log press is more interesting to me now than doing bench press, and it's really good for my bench press too, because you get those front delts working a lot, and it feels really good. And I feel like it has kind of been helping out my push-ups, because my push-ups have been going up pretty well. One thing I did before basic training was, I'm not in the military, by the way, guys. I'm not, just letting you know, I'm not in the military yet. I was there, and a couple things happened. I got cut. But while I was training for it, the only bad thing I ever had was my run. Which is honestly understandable, because I was not in shape to run whatsoever. I had like 2 months of training to run, and I didn't like running. So my run around the time was about 17 minutes for 1.5 miles, which is fucking horrible, trust me. I know. But my push-ups were pretty good. My push-ups, I hit around 52, and my sit-ups were around 60, I want to say. 60 or 65. So I wasn't out of shape on those parts. But the weird part is that like the only thing I really trained for those was going to the gym. So like I didn't do push-ups at home. I was mainly doing bench press, which I guess if you're doing your weight on bench press, it kind of makes sense, because like I was easily bench pressing my own weight for most of my time. But yeah, so I was bench pressing about for a normal set of strength training, I was bench pressing 245 for about a set of 5, or 225 if I just wasn't feeling it that day. So like 225 pounds for like a set of 5 or 6 for about three or 4 sets. So I wasn't weak by any means, but like I was very surprised with my amount of push-ups that I did. I was also pretty surprised about the amount of sit-ups I did, because I suck ass at sit-ups. So I don't know what happened, but my run was awful, and I knew it was going to be awful. I knew they were probably going to recycle me, and that's what I was worried about. So, I got recycled. Shit happens. I'm really trying to get back into the military now too. A couple months ago, you probably couldn't have gotten me to rejoin, but like now it's like, I feel like I can do it. I really do want to do it, and I kind of feel obligated because I don't want to look like a fucking bitch. So, it's something I did want to do when I originally joined, and don't do this because it's really hard, but I'm really trying to get back in, and the chances of me getting back in are pretty slim, but you might as well take the shot, right? So, one of the things that where was I going with this? But one of the things you should do is don't just join on a whim. Because when I originally joined, I really wasn't sure what I wanted to do with my life, because I had never actually taken the risks or really done anything in school besides, weight training or, something like that to really, or I didn't do anything besides sports, and, all the classes I was taking for certain things that I wanted to do at like 4 years, like in 4 years, you don't know what you're going to want to do. You started in freshman year, and they want you to figure out what you want to go to college for. And, for the most part, like, I swear half of you might not want to do that when you get to college. Like, if you want to do that after 4 years of doing the classes, by all means, fucking go. But, like, I was doing, like, cinematography. I was, like, editing. I was very into video editing when I started. And I'm a pretty good video editor, I would say. It's kind of grungy the way I do it. And it's very, it's kind of, I don't do any of the serious stuff. But for the class I was in, I was doing pretty good. Like, I was doing some of the best edits of, the class, but I wasn't having as much fun. Like, there's not a ton that happened there that I could say, I was having a ton of fun doing. I liked making funny videos. That was a thing I liked doing. And we made a ton of them. They were pretty cringy, and either they were really cringy or they were pretty funny, and we did a pretty good job at it. But that wasn't something I wanted to go to college to do. And, I'm not in college right now. And I really did want to, originally I wanted to join the Army, which, by the way, make sure you know which branch you want to go into before you go, because the Army was my first pick, and I did want to go to the Army. Some things came up, I ended up getting out of touch with him, and I was like, fuck, I'll try to get in touch with another Army recruiter. And before I knew it, I was talking to a Navy recruiter. And I'm gonna tell you a secret right now. Be careful, because Navy recruiters are very good at talking. Hold on, I got a text. Okay. But recruiters are very good at talking, so be careful. make sure that you know which branch you want to go into, and make sure you know for yourself what, like, the things, the troubles that you might face in boot camp, the things that might happen because of being in that boot camp. Like, some of them will lie, some of them won't tell you the truth, and if you have something on your record, there's a possibility that they'll tell you to lie about it. Like, if you had a past in anxiety, they might tell you to lie about it. Just be careful. And if you don't want to lie about it, if you want to get waivers, make sure that you let them know, because if you don't and you get sent there, they could easily send you right back out. It's a very hard process. I'm going to tell you right now, they probably won't, because it's cheaper to keep you there, unless you're actually feeling like legitimately depressed. Because I met a couple guys that when especially when I was there, they had too many people, so I was able to stay there for 5 or 6 weeks, and I was really close to graduating, but I was there, and you'll notice that as time goes on, especially in the first week, you'll see a lot of guys going missing or something like that, because they might be getting sent home. So you'll see them at in the morning, and then they just won't come back. You'll see their shit getting emptied out, and you're like, well, fuck. So that's pretty much what happened to me. They found out about something in my background that I had. I ended up getting Airnest enlistment, which is possible to come back from. It's just really hard. But make sure the Army doesn't check. So if you got problems and you don't want to tell people about them, just go to the Army and lie. Don't lie. If you want to lie, don't tell anyone. But your shit happens. So I ended up getting the bad end of the straw, which sucks because it was pretty close to graduating. But they were they didn't want me there, which it sucks, but you get over it. I ended up having to come back. I had a good amount of money, so I wasn't complaining. Too bad I suck with dealing with money. But it was probably a good thing to happen in the end, because I knew halfway through boot camp I was like, I'm gonna hate these next 4 years. To be honest, because I don't like boats. I don't like being in the ocean, and I certainly don't like being in a submarine, which my job is going to be. So I'm like, well, fuck. Why did I sign up for this? So right now, I really want to get back into the Army, or not into the Army. I want to get back into the military. Army is definitely the way I want to go. And if worse comes to worse, I'll join the Air Force. Fuck the Marines. That's not anything mean to the Marines. I just wouldn't want to fucking do it. Their boot camp is 12 weeks long. I could barely survive fucking 8. But so that's really something I'm looking forward to getting into. If it doesn't work out, if you haven't watched my older videos, I do live in Hawaii right now, and I'm gonna live in Hawaii for another couple months. It all depends on if I get picked up to go into the Army or not. But if I do get picked up to go into the Army, I'm going to go to boot camp, and I might end up moving back here. If not, I'm probably going to end up moving to the mainland, or back to the another state. I might move to Massachusetts. I might end up moving back to my hometown. I might end up going to Ohio. It all depends. I would like to move somewhere, different from where I've lived, not New York or anything. I've seen, I don't want to go anywhere too expensive. So, if worse comes to worse, I can't get in, I need to get a job. I'll get a job here. I'll save up. I'll move. maybe with a friend, because I got a lot of other friends who are about to be homeless too. But we'll see where it goes. And you always gotta. I feel like people try to plan out their lives too much, because and this is my opinion. You guys can disagree, but I feel like your life should be about you at first. Make sure you have a stable career. Make sure you're taking care of yourself. And when you're able to do that, make sure you can then I feel like that's the time when you can start worrying about other people. So for me right now, worrying about myself and making sure I can pay my own rent later on, and making sure that I can make it to work, and that I can still go to the gym, and that I can still join the military. That's an important thing for me right now. Right, I'm not particularly worried about my friends' problems as much as I am my own. Now, that there's an in between. It's if your friend's going through some really tough shit, someone died or he's homeless or something like that. That's when you should really. That's around the time I would say you should really start. Focusing on him or her a little bit more. But if it's just you should really worry about yourself. Because that's how you should be thinking about life, I think. Because sometimes I feel like people care too much about other people, like I did back in high school, and you put extra stress on yourself, man. It's very not good for you. Because I was 17 in high school, and I was worried about where my fucking friend was gonna live, when in reality it's that's not my fucking problem. My problem is what am I gonna do after high school? But I never really thought that much through, which is why I ended up joining the Navy. By the way, I think I'm probably the most masochistic person at boot camp, because I loved the lifestyle of being in the military. I don't know why. For some reason, I like getting up at 4 a.m. and being prepared for anything at 6 a.m. But it really, take my opinion with a grain of salt, but you need to worry about yourself first. I always say that. My friend Kobe always says that. We try to take care of ourselves first. That's the important part of life. And as soon as you have a stable career, Kobe's in the Army, and he's making about $1,400 a month right now, for maybe $1,600 a month, and he's got free housing. It's he's gonna be fine. He's gonna be fine for a while. He can afford to pay for stuff himself. He can he bought a PlayStation recently. He's gonna get a computer soon. He can afford to buy his own food and all that shit. He can live, and he can worry about other people. So that's where he's at right now. My other friend, he's very worried about other people right now, which I think is a really dumb idea. He's got friends that are still in high school that have therapy and stuff, and I me and Kobe were talking about him, and it's he needs to worry about himself first. I feel like worrying about yourself is always the most important part, because now he's vaping and he's smoking, and it's really not. It's kind of putting more stress on him than he has, and he's got and I know he's got a really addictive personality, and it's not good for him to be in that situation, and then have his addictive personality, because he worries too much about other people. Now, people are going to get angry and say, you should always care about your family and friends. Now, here's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that you shouldn't care about your family and friends. But when it comes to your life and getting it together, and your life still isn't together, and you're trying to help out this other person, that's where the problem comes in. Because, I'm not worried about my family right now. I love my family to death, but, my mom's got a stable career. My dad's about to get a pretty stable job. So, and my brother's still in fucking middle school, so they don't have much to worry about. They should be worrying about me, or like anyone else in their family. So I'm just really worried about myself. But, to each their own, I guess. Aside from that weird rant, what else can I talk about for like another 10 minutes? Oh yeah, I've recently been playing Minecraft again. So, like, I'll probably end up putting something on the screen, because I like putting gameplay over, like, when I talk. So, like, even if I'm not, so, like, you'll probably see me playing Minecraft. So, that's a part. But I really have been playing Minecraft again. And, me and my friend have really been playing together. And we were playing one of the mod packs, Mage Quest. And it really got me back into Minecraft, to be honest. Because I do enjoy myself a good old game of Minecraft. And, for the most part, as a kid, I loved messing around with mods in Minecraft. So that was like one of my favorite things to do, is just play Minecraft. And it really draws back to like when you would watch YouTubers, and I shouldn't say I liked Minecraft as a kid. I loved watching people play Minecraft as a kid and playing with mods as a kid. I was Minecraft as a kid is way more fun when you were watching someone like Sky Does Minecraft. Sky Does Minecraft is, I think he's probably one of the more important like YouTubers in terms of the Minecraft community, because he's when you look at him, he was like the most popular. He was probably in like the top 20 most popular YouTube channels for like 4 or 5 years, right? And like he was really good at his job. He was very popular. He brought like a lot of more people to the community, whether they were 8 years old or fucking 20. But like he had a personality to him. You could count on him to cuss if you wanted someone to cuss in a YouTube video. You weren't really worried about all that stuff, like, oh, is he family friendly? Because like to me, like, I don't like watching family friendly shit. I kind of think it's kind of dumb. Because frankly, if you're teaching your kid to not cuss, I feel like they're going to end up cussing anyway. So that might just be my 2 cents on it. But like, me and my friend were having the same conversation yesterday about, because we're both story writers. Me and Kobe are both, we both write. We're like, we're story writers. So we write our own stories. Like, currently right now, me and my other friend, Keone, are working on this story called Mutant Asylum. It's going to be about 6 volumes long, about 20 to 40 chapters for each volume. It's going to be a pretty long story, and if you want to check it out, it's on Wattpad. We already have the first 8 chapters out. I'm going to be working on chapter 9. I'm working on chapter 9 right now. But me and my friend were getting into this like thing about me and my friend Kobe were getting into this thing about like how much cussing should you allow in a story. And like it wasn't really an argument. We weren't arguing about it, but we were explaining like our 2 cents on it. So like him in particular, he doesn't like cussing that much in a story. Like he'll do it when it feels needed, but he's not making the character cuss all the time. Which I understand, because a lot of people in stories or like TV shows or anime or something like that, you don't hear them cussing as much as you would hearing someone in real life. But like for me it almost feels like it's an environment thing. So my main character Jay is he's a very, my 3 characters that are in volume 1 right now, we have Jay, Dominic, and Douglas. These are the 3 main people, and when you hear them talk, a lot of the time they'll cuss, but that's not because I just like cussing. That's because, I feel I put it more as an environmental thing. So like for them, the word fuck is as normal as the word hey. Like, hey, how are you doing? And then, Dominic is like, fuck off, because he's not in the mood, but that's just a normal thing for them. It's like, it's an environmental thing, because where they grew up, it was pretty harsh. It wasn't a normal environment that, your average suburban child would grow up in. It was a very, harsh environment where you kind of just picked up as you went along, because they didn't have parents to teach them, the proper filter to stop cussing. They kind of just let themselves run at the mouth, because that's just the way they raised themselves, pretty much. But for their younger, they're pretty much the guardians of a younger girl called Effie, and she is they try to keep her from saying as many cuss words, so they're trying to build a filter into her. So it's more like, their environment, but they're trying to keep her away from the environment as much as possible, which ends up failing. But at the end of the day, they gave it a shot. And she doesn't cuss as much as them later on. Like, she's only like 7 or 8 when she's only like 6 when we start the story, and she's like 7 or 8 when the story finishes. So it's like, she's not going to learn a ton. But like, if we were to go into the future, I certainly wouldn't say she cusses as much as, Jay, Dominic, or Douglas does. But like, me and my friend were having this conversation about it, and I'm like, for my characters, it's not exactly like they were raised as like suburban children that are just fucking walking around like, say, hey Steve, how's it going? Like, no, they were put in a harsh environment that caused them to talk like fucking this. Jesus Christ, it got really quiet. But, that's just my 2 cents. It has been a pretty long time since we started. It's been 42 minutes. Holy shit, it's almost been 45 minutes since we started this. I think this is a good introduction to the Shower Thots podcast. So I'm just going to end it here, guys. I'm going to try to do this again on Wednesday. This one should be up on Monday. And, I'll try to do it 2 times a week at least. If you guys enjoyed, another episode will probably be up on Wednesday, because I want to do 2 a week. But I hope you guys did enjoy, and I'll see you guys on the next podcast.